everyone. We are here to present a report on a very important topic in communications and business writing, and that is formal and informal reports. Guys, always remember that reports are essential to use in schools, office, and organization to communicate informations, analyze issues, and propose solutions. However, not all the reports are written in the same way, depending on the purpose and audience and level of formality. Reports can be classified as formal and informal. So guys, in our discussion today, we will explain what formal and informal reports are, what's their main difference, and when each type is most appropriate to use. We will also share some examples and key parts that make each type of report. Also, by the end of our presentation, we hope you have a clearer understanding of how to use or how to choose the right type of report, depending on the situations and also for the audience. So once again, guys, a good day and thank you for your listening. Formal and informal reports. They are the two most common types that of the business report when a report is highly structured and is relatively long in size. It is called a formal report, while on the other hand, when the report is less structured and short size, it is called informal report. These two types of reports differ in many ways. A formal report tends to be longer, although again, the quantity of page or word is not defined. It may start at 10 pages and in some cases exceed 100 pages. With a formal report, the topic of the report or the policy of the company is being written for determines which section, labels, content, and purpose should be used as the basis of the report. These reports address complex topics that require substantial description of background, research of the topic, and evidence to support any proposed solution. Both the data gathering and the summary of the topic generate length. To keep these obstacles of information organized, the reports requires formal headings and tight organizations in order to help the readers to stay on track. While in informal reports, it needs to be length to be shorter although the quantity of the pages or word is not defined. Think of informal reports as documents of under 10 pages. An informal report usually has a specific topic grouped in paragraphs, and this topic tends to have a simple headings. Note the while informations or topics reports often don't have any required headings. You can take inspirations from the headings required in informal reports.
And now, let's talk about the major distinctions of a formal report. Formal report. A formal report is a structured and detailed document that follows a specific format or set of rules. It is usually prepared for official or professional purposes and is submitted to a proper authority. Form of the report. Form of the report follows a fixed and organized structure. It is written in a prescribed format, usually in a narrative or manuscript style, which means the information is presented in full sentences and detailed paragraphs, rather than short or casual notes. Purpose. A formal report is written to provide accurate and detailed information that can help management make long-term plans and important strategic decisions. It serves as a guide for solving problems, improving operations, or planning for the future. Objective. The objective of a formal report is to support decision-making by presenting clear information and offering effective recommendations that can help solve a problem or improve a situation. Length. A formal report is usually long and detailed. It often contains many pages, including additional parts like title pages, abstracts, and table of contents, which are not found in shorter or informal reports. This longer length allows the report to explain information more complete.
Distribution. In most cases, formal reports are circulated to top-level executives and outside parties. This means they are meant for people who make big decisions or for external organizations that need reliable information. For example, a formal report about a company's yearly performance might be sent to the CEO or shared with business partners and investors. Nature of problem. A formal report deals with complex and non-recurring problems. It is analytical and systematic in nature, meaning it studies problems deeply and presents well-organized solutions. For example, a feasibility study that analyzes whether it's practical to open a new branch of a company in another country. Frequency of writing. Formal reports are written very infrequently. They are not made regularly but only when there's a major issue or important project to report on. For example, a company might prepare a formal report only once or twice a year to evaluate overall performance or project outcomes. Writing responsibility. This type of report is usually written by internal or external experts who have deep knowledge of the subject. For example, engineers might write a technical report about a construction project. Use of visual aids. Formal reports make extensive use of visual aids, such as charts, graphs, and tables to present facts and findings clearly.
In major distinction in the informal reports, the first one is writing style. It uses simple, direct, and casual writing style. In contrast, a formal report follows a more organized, impersonal, and analytical style. The next one is informal reports. An informal report is prepared without strictly following any specific rules or formal guidelines. And form of the report. Informal reports do not require a strict format. They are commonly written as memos or letters. While in the purpose, it is an informal report is to present facts that help managers make everyday business decisions. And the objective, it means objective to convey routine message and report and to support day-to-day functions within the organization.
Length. An informal report is usually short in length, often ranging from a few paragraphs to a few pages. It presents an information directly and briefly without following study structure or formal sections. Distribution. Short or informal reports are usually shared only within the organization, not with the outsider. Nature of the problem. They deal with a simple, routine, or recurring problems that don't need deep analysis. Frequency of writing. These reports are written often, sometimes daily or weekly, to keep management updated. Writing responsibility. Usually, subordinate or lower level employees prepare this report for their superiors. Use of visual aids. Informal reports rarely use charts, tables, or other visuals since they are brief and straightforward. Writing style. They use a direct, deductive, and personal style focusing on facts and main points without lengthy explanations. Recommendations. No formal recommendations are needed. They mainly present information or updates.
For our next topic, let's go over the main differences between formal and informal report in a simple way. First, let's talk about the purpose and audience. Formal reports are written to provide detailed information, deep analysis, and clear recommendations about a specific issue or problem. Their main goal is to support decision-making in an organization. These reports are usually prepared for a specific audience, such as senior management, board members, or stakeholders. Because of this, formal reports are carefully written and supported by facts and evidence. On the other hand, informal reports have a more limited purpose. They are often used for internal communication within a company and are intended for a smaller audience, like immediate supervisors, co-workers, or team members. Informal reports are commonly used to share quick updates, progress reports, or short summaries of work-related activities. Unlike formal reports, they don't require detailed analysis or complex formatting. Next, let's move on to structure and components. Formal reports follow a structured and standardized format to ensure clarity, organization, and professionalism. They usually include several important sections such as a title page, table of contents, executive summary, introduction, methodology, findings and analysis, recommendations, conclusions, and appendices. Each part has its own purpose to make sure the information is presented in a logical and complete way. In contrast, informal reports are more flexible. They don't follow a strict format and often leave out some of the sections found in a formal report. They are generally shorter and less detailed, which makes them faster to write and easier to read.
So next, the language and tone. The language and tone employed in formal and informal reports differ significantly, reflecting distinct purposes, audiences, and context of each type of reports. The formal reports are characterized by a professional tone and language that is objective, precise, and technical. Also, formal reports typically follow a standard structure and use formal vocabulary, avoiding constructions, and this tone and language are essential in formal reports, as they convey a sense of authority, expertise, and credibility. While the informal reports are typically used for internal communication or for familiar audiences, where a more personal and relaxed tone is appropriate. The informal reports, the language is often less structured and more conversational, using constructions and colloquial expression to convey a sense of familiarity and rapport. The tone is often more persuasive and encouraging, aiming to facilitate discussion and collaboration rather than convey a formal information. And next, formatting and presentation. The formal reports are characterized by a structured and standardized format, which is enhance their clarity, readability, and credibility. The typical components of formal reports include a title page, table of contents, executive summary, introduction, body, and conclusion. Headings and subheadings are used to organize the content, and visual aids such as tables, charts, and graphs are used to support data and illustrate key findings. While informal reports, on the other hand, have a more flexible format and presentation style. They may consist of a brief memo, emails, or letters, and often lack of the formal structure and visual aids of formal reports. Also, the informal reports are designed to convey information quickly and efficiently, often using bullet points, headings, and short paragraphs to facilitate easy reading when it comes to informal reports.
By the fifth is length and detail. Formal reports. For the formal reports are comprehensive documents that provide an in-depth analysis of the particular topic, issue, or the problem. They are generally longer, highly structured, and detailed as they serve as official records or reference for important organizational decisions. These reports are typically written or executive stakeholders for or specialized audience who require to accurate and extensive information. Also, formal reports usually include through background research to give context to the issue, detailed data analysis supported by charts, table, and abcds. Clear methodology. Description explain how data or information was collected and indirected. While for the informal reports are shorter, less structured, and more concise. Their main purpose is to communicate essential information quickly and clearly. Often for internal use within the organization, these reports do not follow any rigid format and may appear as memos, emails, or brief written updates. Also, informal reports often summarize progress, findings, or issues without going any excessive detail. While the number 6 is use of technical jargon for the formal reports, formal reports often contain technical jargons and specialized terminology relevant to the subject area. This is because their intended readers are typically professionals or experts who possess background knowledge of the field. The use of such terminologies ensures accuracy, precision, and credibility in presenting complex information. While for the informal reports naman po is generally avoid excessive technical jargons to maintain clarity and accessibility. Therefore, the language should be simple, direct, and easy to understand. When technical terms must be used, they are usually explained in plain language.
Use of citations and references. Let's start with the formal reports. A formal report put a big focus on using citations and references. This means that when we use information, ideas, or data from other people, we must give credit to the original source because formal reports are usually based on research, studies, or collected data. On the other hand, informal reports are simpler and shorter. They are usually used for internal communications, updates, or summarized inside an organization. Most of the time, they don't require many citations or references. But if we include information from other sources, it's still a good practice to mention where we get it from. In short, formal reports require a proper citations to support claims and findings, while informal reports focus on quick and clear communication. But still, honesty in giving credit is always important. The use of visual aids in informal reports and informal reports. Formal reports usually include different types of visual aids to make data easier to interpret and more appealing to the reader. This may include infographics, graphs, tables, maps, diagrams, and charts. The visual help explain complex information, show trends, and highlights comparisons better than long text alone. In the other word, they make reports look more professional and easier to follow. Now, for informal reports can also use a visual aids, but in a simpler way. These are often basic charts, short tables, or bullet point lists that make information quick to read and understand.
Good day everyone, let's talk about our last two topics, which is approval and distribution, formal and informal reports. For the last one is decision-making applications, formal and informal reports. For the first one, approval and distribution formal reports. The approval and distribution sections identify the key personnel who review and authorize the formal version of the report. It ensures that all contents meet organizational standards and that the findings or recommendations have been verified. Once approved, the report is formally distributed to relevant stakeholders through the determined channels such as email, shared drive, or physical copies. This process ensures that accountability, transparency, and that the information reach appropriate individuals for action record keeping. The approval and distribution sections identify the key personnel who review the authorized and the final version of the report. So for the last topic, which is decision-making implications formal reports. Decision-making implications, a formal report explain how the information or findings should be influence future actions or choices. These sections help us reader understand what steps need to be taken based on the data presented. It shows the possible outcome of the following or ignoring the recommendations. It also highlights which people, departments, or areas will be affected. By these decisions, including this in report, ensure that decision makers are guided clearly and can be acted based on the facts and analysis. Decision-making implications in a formal report explain how the information or findings should influence future actions or sections. Since these sections help our reader understand and what the steps need to be taken based on the data presented, it shows the possible outcomes of the following or ignoring the recommendations and provide clear basis for making informed decisions. It also highlights which departments, teams, or individuals will be affected by this decision and what resources may be required to implement them. Including the sections ensure that decision makers are guided by facts, analysis, and logical reasoning. Rather than assumptions and additions, it promotes strategy thinking by connections the finding of the report to the overall goals and objects of the organizations. And for the informal report, decision-making implications. Decision-making implications means how the info in the report can affect and what people decide to do next. It shows what actions should be taken and what may happen if nothing is done. It is also point out how will be affected by these decisions. This helps people understand and why the report matters and what step they need to take. It is also identifies who will be affected by these choices and the possible challenges or benefits called result. This helps the readers or team members clearly understand and why the report matters and what steps they need to take. While it may not include detailed analysis like a formal report, it still serves as a practical guide for everyday decisions. That's it. Thank you.